Hi there. In this visualization, we'll turn our attention to the world's GDP in current dollars. Since current dollars, real dollars, give an indication of the command over the world's resources, this is the favoured measure for showing the relative size of the world's economies. But before we look at the data, let's take a closer look at how the numbers are calculated. Basically, there are three different routes to the same number. Since everything earned in a society is equal to everything consumed or saved, and since everything consumed in a society must be equal to everything produced, it stands to reason that income equals expenditure equals production. But the data should also be calculated in each of three different ways as well, and in each case using different sets of data. And they should all come to the same result. Now, even in richer countries, this often requires an error term to balance the measures. But simply to look at the information needed makes it easier to see why, in countries with a less developed administrative infrastructure, it's difficult to produce reliable statistics. Now, when we look at the range of country incomes, the gradient is much steeper than it was for population. In this diagram, you'll notice we've removed the top 4 economies so as not to compress the range too greatly. In the diagram, I've ranked by GDP size all the countries in the world with a population above 1.5 million. The data for 2012 has a few countries missing, and you can see them here. Since there are 143 countries, we've divided the map into 10 equal parts, with 14 in each except for the first 3, which have 15. So, let's get started. The first decile is headed by the United States, followed at some distance by China and Japan. Germany, France and the UK come next, followed by Brazil and Russia. Italy, India and Canada are next, and by the time we reach Australia, we're talking in terms of an economy that's less than 10% the size of the United States. Spain, Mexico, Korea make up the rest. Indonesia, that leads the next decile, is a little more than 5% the size of the United States, and the range now extends to the United Arab Emirates, whose GDP level is less than 2.5% of the USA. Nigeria, by the way, has its unrevised statistics in this group. But you can see there's still many middle-sized European economies. The third decile stretches down to Iraq, with a GDP of only 1.3% of that of America, and by now a pattern is emerging of a mixture of small richer states with bigger poor ones. So we'll run through the rest of the data without much comment. And don't forget, you can always slow it down to make the viewing easier. So that was the world map of GDP. I hope that you enjoyed it. The data used to create it is available to you in the CTW database accompanying the course.